Hi everyone, Jim Hannon here from Moonscapes and another astronomy video this time. This is the mount that I was talking about that's set up behind my retirement community. It took about 3 days to dig the hole, cement the post in, clean things up and get the head put onto the pier, which will be painted black eventually. And I'm probably going to put the collar back on and increase the height of the concrete up about almost up, at least in the third of the way of that post. It's got a little bit of a wobble to it because there's so much weight up on top. That's a 4x4, so I need to stiffen that up a little bit, but that can be done later. It'll work just fine as long as it's not a real windy night. My car is located right there because I use that like a control room like I used to have my observatory. All the wiring is run in from the mount. I've got all the wires hooked up now, and then they run into the car to my computer, and I can work with comfort inside the car just like I used to in my observatory. The mount is an Atlas EQG equatorial. The telescope will go up here and the counterweight's all down here. Now the reason I don't have anything on there now is because I need to polar align it. It was just put on the pier this afternoon, or actually this morning, and now it needs to be perfectly aligned with true north, just off of Polaris by about 2/3 of a degree. And that's a simple process that's done by taking this cap off right here, and there's a polar scope that looks up through the mount to the Polaris area, and then there's a setting you put in there depending on the position of the stars, and put Polaris in the little circle that's in there, and then your polar line. Now once that's done, and that's a lot easier to do with no weight on, so that's why I don't have anything on the mount. When that's done, at this point the counterweights will be on, and they will be left on. The telescope for now, being that I don't have a slide off shed, will be removed. The optical tube, which will be up here, will be removed and taken indoors. And then I have a weatherproof covering to cover the mount, and the mount will be left out here, and as long as it's not touched and not moved, not taken off of this pier and taken somewhere to be used, and as long as it's not moved in any way, the polar alignment is good. And each night, instead of doing what I have to do next, I'll just come out, drop the telescope on, and off I go. But tonight it's a little more hectic because I do have to do that polar alignment, and I need to see some stars first before I can do that. So it's going to be a little later getting on. If I'm successful and have no problems, I'll do another video later when I actually start imaging, and we'll take a look at what's going on there. The location here is kind of tough. I'm in downtown, and behind these pine trees over here is actually a Rite Aid pharmacy. And those pine trees block that light. I've got some tree problems over here to the north and west. This big tree here is a problem with certain objects that I might want to shoot to the north. Over here is the church, which this is church property. Actually, I'm doing a little program with them. They're allowing me to use this site for my own use, and I'll do some observing programs for the kids in church here and the adults also. I enjoy doing that once in a while. Polaris will be up over these trees. That's where I have to align. And then over here, this is looking towards the west and southwest. These building sheds right here. I picked this spot. It's quiet back here. A lot of vegetation, as you can see. And over behind and back in there, if you can see the rooftop over behind that building, that's the retirement community building I live in. And I use these sheds to block the lights, the security lights that are on those buildings. So I'm in a shadow here, but it's close to downtown. I do have filters on my camera. Of course, there's a block for what am I trying to say? Not ultraviolet light, but infrared light. There's a block on that so it doesn't change the color balance on the images. And then there's also I have a minus V filter, which is a minus blue. The telescope is a good quality, but it's not the very top of the line, so it does have a bit of blue fringing, and that filter will take care of that. And on top of that, I have what's called a CLS filter, which is a city light suppression filter. That helps cut through some of the light pollution that I have here. So that's about it now. And if I am lucky and get everything up and running in a little bit, I'll come back on with another video which will show some of the imaging session. Take care, guys.